October surprise. It's been done before. Obama's extreme initiatives are causing him to lose popularity. There are town hall protests protesting his so-called health care reform. People are taking to the streets over this because they are learning through the reading of his bill that it would transform America from a capitalist free enterprise society to a socialist society. A society where individuals and businesses make their own decisions to one where government bureaucrats make all important decisions. People are realizing that these extreme initiatives will bring government bureaucracy into the most private areas of our lives. This is manifesting itself in protests and disruptions at these town halls. The people on the left would like for you to think that this was simply some kind of Republican conspiracy, that these are simply political operatives. But the poll ratings would tell us otherwise. According to the poll ratings, Obama's popularity and approval is dropped below 50%. It is getting lower and lower and lower every day. It's becoming pretty obvious that the Democrats are headed towards the same disaster they encountered in 1994. The first 2 years of Bill Clinton's term, he brought in these extreme initiatives from the left. In 94, he got his butt whipped and he got a spanking when voters chose Republicans to rule Congress. The stage is set for that. And remember, the same people who are supporting Obama, who are helping Obama pass these initiatives, are the ones who engineered his victory in spite of the flap with Jeremiah Wright's racist comments, in spite of the fact that Obama refuses to pledge allegiance, refuses to wear American flag lapel pins, and other tokens of patriotism that all the other politicians do. Things that were found on Obama would just a few years ago have tanked the candidacy. But through the brilliance of the people he has in his campaign, or had in his campaign, he was able to get a victory. People like that are not dumb. They're smart enough to know where this is going to lead the Democrats. That it's going to lead them down the pit. It's going to lead them to the abyss of defeat. And yet they continue to push on. These advisors of his are not advising him to take a different course, or to take some backdoor route. But instead he's charging in like a bull in a china shop. So you have to ask yourself, why? Are they going down the road of political suicide? Or are they? This is political suicide unless they have an October surprise. October surprises are nothing new in politics. Just in the 20th century, 3 major revolutions have been accomplished through October surprises. On October the 25th, 1917, an October coup overthrew the Tsarist regime in Russia and installed the communists into power. And then there's another one. This one happened in February. February the 22nd, 1933, the Nazis burned down the Reichstag. They blamed the communists. When the Reichstag burned down, they used that as a pretext to declare martial law. And once they declared martial law, they then sacked and gutted what was left of democracy. They suspended the Constitution. They set up a Nazi dictatorship. On October the 1st, 1949, the communists declared a communist state in China. So there's an October revolution coming, an October surprise. And I believe September 11th was a dry run. And what we learned through the public reaction and the government's response to September 11th is that a major disaster along those lines produces an atmosphere of fear. It produces a panic. We've seen that people are vulnerable during those kinds of shocks to accepting things that they would normally not accept. After September 11th, we rammed through some extreme measures in the Patriot Act. People accepted limitations on their freedoms that they would not have accepted before that. And I believe we're going to see that again. I don't know the exact details of this October surprise, but it's coming. It's going to be something at least as severe as September 11th. And when they do that, they'll declare martial law. And they'll have their prisons up and running. There are civilian relocation facilities that the military is hiring people to as wardens and guards and officers. They've got all the pieces in place. And they'll declare that once they declare their martial law, they're going to take off the streets anyone who would be a political threat. Will be the first thing. People like Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity will be off the streets in these civilian relocation facilities. Then there will pass new laws to retool the code. There will be a constitutional convention. Freedom of speech will replace our speech codes. Any speech the government doesn't like will simply be declared a hate crime, similar to speech codes that are now in place in Europe. Along the lines of those speech codes will be regulations over what kinds of views a party may hold. If political parties are perceived as having certain types of views, they can be defunded, they can be declared illegal. And through tactics like that, America will be transformed into a democratic socialist society. It will have all the trappings of democracy, but the deck will be stacked to guarantee that a socialist regime will always enjoy power. And no party, no individual, no movement contrary to that agenda will be able to organize a resistance sufficient to overturn it through legal means. It's coming, folks, and we need to be prepared. And I wish it wasn't so, but I believe that it is so. And that's all for now. Have a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you are.